Good evening, Honorable Mayor, City Councilman, City of Twin Falls staff, and invited guests. Several of you on the dais already know of me, but allow me to introduce myself. For the record, my name is Scott Andrus, and I reside in Las Vegas, Nevada. However, please understand, Twin Falls, Idaho remains home to me. It is the place, after all, of my fondest memories. Mr. Mayor, Councilman, if I may be so direct, since my career as a journalist took me out of Twin Falls, out of this community in 1983, a sore has festered among downtown merchants. It is why I stand before you here tonight. I co-chair a cobbled committee to disestablish the historic Old Town Business Improvement District. Others represented on the committee are my co-chair, Mrs. Virginia Wilcox, her husband, Calvin Wilcox, Scott Featherston, Jim Wagenman, and Shannon Nisa. Each of us owns real property and operates a business within the designated boundaries of the dysfunctional BID organization. To better appreciate my comments, which I'll keep brief this evening, but it might be helpful for you to know something of my youth and growing up in Twin Falls. I remember as a young boy, for instance, dusting shelves for my dad at BS&R Equipment on Main Avenue. Today, the former BS&R building is owned by me, and yes, I still dust the shelves. It is now Escape Salon. Through the 1970s, I worked many jobs on Main Avenue downtown. Specs Cafe, Havner's Camera and Sound, Close Office Supply, Roper's Clothing Store, and Inkley's Camera. So please let no one question whether I am a bona fide Twin Falls downtowner. In matters concerning the BID, my constituency includes dozens of Main Avenue merchants and many other downtown property owners. Under State of Idaho Code, we petition you, this honorable council, to disband, dissolve, or as statute provides, disestablish the district that has unduly bound us for nearly 3 decades. To drag out the inevitable, or even debate life after the BID, only inflames passions and widens the divide between petitioners and the city of Twin Falls. Over the past several weeks, no single person has come forward to proffer a meritorious vision of the beleaguered BID, except to utter the weary refrain, just give it another 10 years. Nothing happens overnight. Well, no more 10 years. No more 20 years, no more 30 years. Please know that nothing in state statutes even requires petitioners to give a reason for disestablishment. According to code, I'm reading now, the legislative authority shall disestablish a district if the businesses in the district which pay a majority of the assessments petition in writing for such disestablishment. Now let me address the recent and remarkable opinion of the City of Twin Falls attorney. His reactionary retort reminds citizens why they mistrust government. In general terms, Mr. Fritz Wunderlich advises you to exact a cash fee from BID members in exchange for a place on the petition. I do respect the city attorney very much, but Mr. Wunderlich effectively takes the position that struggling downtown merchants, especially in a weak economy, have no say in putting an end to the BID, even as they must remain indentured to it. Such reasoning is repugnant and an affront to the good citizens of Twin Falls. To blindly cloak any decision affecting disestablishment in this narrow opinion means you find it expedient to deny the fundamental right of political expression. I submit that Mr. Wunderlich is on the wrong side of history. Some 44 years ago, the Supreme Court of the United States struck down such nonsensical mischief. It outlawed poll taxes and went even further by extending those protections to all citizens who engage at all in the political process. Quoting from the court, it is argued that the right to vote in state elections is not conditional upon the payment of a tax or fee. End quote, but listen very carefully to this part. Quoting again, we do not stop to canvass the relation between voting and political expression. Qualifications have no relation to paying or not paying the tax. This is at the heart of Lincoln's vision of government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Whether the citizen otherwise qualified has money in his pocket or nothing at all, the principle that denies the state the right to dilute a citizen's vote on account of his economic status also bars a system which excludes those unable to pay or who fail to pay, end quote. Nonetheless, I understand some folks in attendance tonight, or perhaps even earlier today, came with money in hand, either paid or are prepared to pay Caesar his due out of fear their signatures may mean nothing otherwise. I plead with you, recognize that even the least among us financially matters. A member of the BID is a member of the BID is a member of the BID regardless of ability to pay. So here it is, democracy in its purest form, a petition by ordinary citizens to its elected representatives for redress of its grievances. The total valuations of signatures herein total some $85,000. Mr. Mayor, honorable councilman, tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock, the Committee to Disestablish the Historic Old Town Business Improvement District formally records its petition with City Hall. You know, I am humbled to stand before you this evening. It is the first time in my long career and long history with Twin Falls. I am even more humbled that so many of the good folks downtown have seen fit to put their faith in me and allowed me this opportunity to speak on their behalf. I look forward to meeting with you again, and thank you very much for your time.